Dear students, this is our 50th video lecture, and this lecture I have dedicated to my revered professor Dr. Baldev Kumar, who was my supervisor in PhD, and I had an association with him since 1985 till last year when he died in Canada. So, as far as I am concerned, all my academic achievements and even on personal front, the contribution of my teacher, Professor Baldev Kumar, is immense. And I cannot forget the lively nature of Professor Baldev Kumar, who has given me all the inspiration for the little work which I have been able to contribute in the field of chemistry. So today we will start with a special lecture which is dedicated to my professor, Professor Baldev Kumar, who was very popularly known in the Department of Chemistry at Punjab University Patiala as Dr. BK. So friends, asymmetric aldol condensation is an important carbon-carbon bond forming reaction. And this reaction is important in organic chemistry as well as in biology, or you can say bioorganic chemistry. The reaction leads to the creation of up to two adjacent stereocenters when a nucleophilic carbonyl donor and an lactophilic carbonyl acceptor they react with each other. And this reaction was discovered way back in 1872 when A.P. Borodin observed the formation of 3-hydroxybutanol from the self-condensation of acetaldehyde. And this type of product was formed which was called as aldol. 3-hydroxybutanol was called as aldol, and the reaction took place in the presence of zinc chloride as catalyst, but nowadays we know that even acids and bases also they can act as catalysts for these types of reactions which are known as aldol reactions. Now, as far as diastereospecificity or stereo selectivity of these reactions is concerned, that depends very much on the geometry of the enolate ion which is formed during the first step of the aldol reaction. And the geometry of this enolate ion which is going to be created in the first step, this depends very much on reaction conditions and the nature of substituents present on the carbonyl system. For example, if we will use strong bases like lithium diisopropyl amide at low temperature and reaction time is shorter, then we will get a kinetic enolate of this type. Say you can see that here the base will abstract the proton from the methyl group, and the enolate of this type will be formed which will be called as a kinetic enolate. But if we are having a weak base like hydroxide ion and we run the reaction at high temperature, and reaction time is also a longer reaction time, this will favor the formation of thermodynamically more stable enolate, that is thermodynamic enolate. So here what happens is that the kinetic unulate formed first, that will abstract proton from the other carbonyl molecule, and we will get this type of inulate, which will be called as thermodynamic inulate. So the kind of product formed in asymmetric synthesis will very much depend on that whether we are getting a Z inolate or E inolate, or both the inolates they are formed equally. So if they are formed equally, then we will get a racemic mixture. Whereas if one of the inolate formed either Z or E, they are formed in more quantity. That means the reaction will be a stereoselective reaction. Now we will see one example that when we are having say two different carbonyl compounds, and out of those two carbonyl only one carbonyl is having an active methylene group, that is the removal of the proton by a base is a possibility only from one carbonyl, and other carbonyl is not having any hydrogen at the beta position of this carbonyl, so that can be removed. So here this carbonyl will act as a donor carbonyl compound, and this will act as a acceptor carbonyl compound. So here in such cases the reaction can take place either in a syn fashion or in an anti fashion. So depending upon the type of inulate form, we will get either a syn product or an anti product. So amount of formation of these syn or anti products, that will depend on the reaction conditions and nature of these substituents R1, R and R2. So we will get the percentage of each of these isomers formed depending upon what type of reactants we are having and what are the reaction conditions, that is what type of base we are using. As you have seen that a stronger base will lead to a different kind of inulate, whereas a weaker base will lead to another kind of inulate. Now we will see the mechanism of one such type of reaction. So if the reaction take place under thermodynamic control, then Z and E forms of the inulate, they are in equilibrium with each other. So these are in equilibrium with the starting material, that is the carbonyl compound. So either Z inulate can be formed or E inulate can be formed under such circumstances, and the product distribution in such type of reaction is determined by the relative stability of this six membered chair shaped cyclic transition state which is formed during the reaction. Now if suppose Z inulate is formed, and this will interact with the second carbonyl compound, then this type of six member transition state will be formed, and this type of state will lead to the formation of syn product, and here this R1 this R1 substituent which was present on the first carbonyl group, that will be axial, and this R will be equatorial, right? So if such a situation is there, then we will get a syn product, that is when R1 is axial, axial is less stable as compared to equatorial, whereas if we are getting an E-enolate of this type, then the second type of six-membered transition state will be formed. And you can see over here, the R1 group is in the equatorial position and R is also in the equatorial position. That means both these substituents, they are in a position where this position is more stable, because here both the substituents, they are in equatorial position, whereas in case of Z enolate you have seen that one substituent is in axial position, other is in equatorial position. So that means this transition state is more stable as compared to this transition state. So through this transition state we will get anti-product. So as I have told you that later transition state, this one which is formed from E-enolate, this will lead to major anti-product, and this is lower in energy and more stable. So that means we will get more of anti-product. So this is the basic mechanism of asymmetric aldol condensation, that how we are getting syn products or anti-products in aldol condensation. Now, the last slide was when the reaction was under thermodynamic control. Now, if the reaction is under kinetic control, then Z and E enolates, they are formed rapidly, but they are not in equilibrium. They are formed irreversibly, and their relative amount determines the product distribution. So this is the difference between the enolates formed under kinetic control or thermodynamic control. In case thermodynamic control, both of these enolates, they were in equilibrium with the substrate. But here, once the enolate have been formed, then the reaction is irreversible. They cannot be transferred back into the reactant. So once these two have been formed, then the amount of enolate formed in the first step will determine that how much of product will be formed from Z enolate and how much of product will be formed from E enolate. So for example, if we are having, say, this ketone 2,2-dimethyl pentane 3O, and when this is condensed with benzaldehyde in presence of LDA, lithium diisopropylamide, as a base, which you know is a strong base at very low temperature, right? Then through the six-member transition state, the product formed is exclusively a syn product. More than 90% of the product is formed as syn product, and we can say the reaction is stereoselective in nature, right? So only one isomer is being formed in 98% through formation of syn. Product formed is syn, and you know that syn is formed through Z enolate, and anti is formed through E enolate. Now, if I replace this ketone by this substrate, only difference between these two is that the tertiary butyl group has been replaced by isopropyl group. The 2-methyl pentane 3-O, this one, is different from this substrate in only one of the methyl group. So this methyl has been replaced by hydrogen, this one. So this is isopropyl group, this is tertiary butyl group. This is the only difference, and all other conditions of the reaction are same. So what you will see that here both the products are formed, syn as well as anti. And if syn is formed 75%, then anti is formed 25%. Sorry, they are formed in 4 is to 1 ratio, means 20% of this and 80% of same is formed. 80% of this is formed, 20% of this is formed, but both the products are formed. And as I have told you that these products, ratio of these products formed will be determined by Z and E enolates. So you know Z enolate will give syn product, E enolate will give anti product. That means Z is Z enolate is formed 4 times more than the anti enolate. So you can see from this that the type of substituent present on the substrate affects the formation of products to a greater extent, right? So on the basis of this, and this is because of the difference in steric repulsion of the methyl group, which is more in case of tertiary butyl in comparison to isobutyl group. So there are two things, that is number one, that the product formation in kinetic control will be determined by that how much of these two they are formed irreversibly in the first step, and then second is the type of substituents present on the molecule or the substrate. Now, asymmetric aldol reactions, they mainly involve three approaches for formation of diastereoselective products or enantioselective products. First is non-catalytic asymmetric aldol reactions. They usually involve the use of stoichiometric amounts of chiral auxiliaries. And second is catalytic asymmetric aldol reactions, and those catalysts, they may be chiral Lewis acid catalysts or chiral Lewis base catalysts. So all these three categories of reactions, they are used for synthesis of enantioselective or diastereoselective products in case of asymmetric aldol condensation. And this approach, that is non-catalytic asymmetric aldol reaction, this needs additional steps to install and remove chiral auxiliary. So the chiral auxiliary which we will use in stoichiometric amount during the product formation, that has to be removed from the reaction mixture. So this is an additional step which is required for this type of non-catalytic asymmetric aldol reactions. Whereas in these two cases, we need to have pre-activation of the donor to a more reactive species. These catalysts, they will interact with the donor molecule so that these can create a more reactive species. For example, if we use trimethyl chloride, then silyl enol ethers of the enolates, they are formed, and such type of ethers, they are more reactive species for asymmetric aldol condensation, or ketene silyl acetals or alkyl enol ethers, they are also more reactive than the reactant itself. So creation of these through pre-activation will lead to a better catalytic asymmetric aldol reactions. Then first we will discuss the catalytic asymmetric aldol condensation. So asymmetric catalysis was first inspired by natural biochemical processes, and biomolecules like enzymes and antibodies, they were used as catalysts for asymmetric aldol condensation reaction. Not only asymmetric aldol condensation like reaction, but many types of asymmetric organic reactions, the biochemical processes, they were first used in the form of enzymes and antibodies as catalysts. And after the use of these, on the basis of further developments, we use transition metals, and chiral ligand based asymmetric catalysis was used. And in chiral ligand asymmetric catalysis, mostly organocatalysts, they were used to control asymmetric transformation in the organic functional group transformations for synthesis of either stereoselective or anisotrophic products. The organocatalysts, they have advantages over the metal catalyzed reactions, as we all know that metals, they cause problems of disposal after the completion of the reaction, because they are not considered to be environmentally benign reactions, wherever we are using metals. And also that metals, they are toxic in nature, so that is why in recent years the use of metallic catalysts, that has been reduced, and organic catalysts, they are preferred over metallic catalysts. Then aldol condensation in solution was first used through catalysis of enzymes. There we will exclusively get only one product. We can say the enzyme catalyzed aldol condensation is a stereospecific reaction, that we will get only one type of uh, anisomer. The enzymes which catalyze such type of condensation reactions like aldol condensation, they are called as aldolases. And these aldolases, they are found in all organisms, and these organisms, they can be found in carbohydrate metabolism as well as amino acid or hydroxy acid metabolism. So most of the aldolases, they catalyze the reversible stereospecific addition of a ketone donor to an aldehyde receptor. So wherever we will use these aldolases, their ketone will act as a donor and aldehyde will act as an acceptor. And in the presence of enzyme, there is possibility of only two different adjacent binding sites, and these two sites, they will bind to different substrate molecules. So because of that, we will get only one product, that is two different substrate molecule, means one site is for ketone and other site is for aldehyde. So that means when aldehyde and ketones, they are to react under a specific binding site, then only one product can be possible, and that product, we will call it as a stereospecific product, because if more than one product is formed, only then we call it as a stereoselective reaction. But here in case of enzymes, all the aldol products, they are stereospecific in nature. Now, it has been studied that aldolases, they are of two types, that is type 1 aldolases and type 2 aldolases. The type 1 aldolases, they have lysine as an essential active site. So you can see over here, this is our donor ketone, and when this reacts in presence of aldolase 1, then this will be the active functional group which is present in the amino acid chain of the enzyme, and this active site is lysine. So this NH2 group interacts with the keto group of the ketone, and we will get this type of Schiff base. This type of Schiff base formation take place, and now this orientation or this Schiff base intermediate is present on this active site. Then on the other active site, we will have acceptor molecule, that is aldehyde group. And these two can interact only in one orientation. That is why they will give a stereospecific product. So this can attack only from this end. And then after hydrolysis, this catalyst is generated back, and we will get an asymmetric aldol product in the reaction. And these aldolases, type 1 aldolases, these are found in bacteria and fungi. Then type 2 aldolases, these type 2 aldolases, they have histidine as an active site, and this histidine active site requires a cofactor in the form of zinc 2 plus ions for the activity for this reaction. So when we are having aldolases type 2, then these donor molecules, they will first interact with this binding site or active site in the form of histidine. And in histidine, we know that one nitrogen is acting as an acid, other nitrogen is acting as a base. So the nitrogen which is acting as an acid, this will activate the carbonyl oxygen, and we will get an enol of this type which is held in this orientation. And then the nitrogen which is acting as a base will interact with the cofactors zinc 2 plus ions, and this will coordinate with the oxygen of the acceptor molecule, that is aldehyde. And when these two are held together, this donor molecule and acceptor molecule through the active site and cofactor, then orientation can only be of one type, and that is why the reaction is a stereospecific reaction. So one example of enzyme catalyzed asymmetric aldol condensation, then this takes place in biochemical functions. Dihydroxyacetone phosphate, this molecule reacts with D-glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So you can see over here, this is an aldehyde, this is a ketone, and the reaction takes place in fructose 1,6-diphosphate aldolase as the catalyst. So this is a ketone, so this will act as a donor molecule, whereas this is an aldehyde, this will act as an acceptor molecule, and the orientation of these two can be only one type, and that is why this reaction is a stereospecific reaction, and we are getting an asymmetric product where these two chiral centers, they are created by the catalysis of this reaction by this enzyme fructose 1,6-diphosphate aldolases. Now, the enzymes, they were used effectively for stereospecific reactions, but the disadvantage of enzymes is that they are active mainly in aqueous medium, and then we cannot have enzyme catalyzed reactions at high temperatures. So because denaturation of enzymes takes place at temperature more than 40, so that is why for more applications, the enzymatic conversion of ketones and aldehyde to aldols was further studied with the alternative of enzymes or alternative of these biochemicals with some smaller molecules, and it was found that out of various types of amino acids, the proline was the best candidate which catalyzed the stereospecific aldol condensation reaction. So this reaction, which is HPESW reaction, Hedges-Parrish Adder-Saucer-Wishart reaction. Here, a proline catalyzed intramolecular or intermolecular aldol reactions, depending not only the first aldol reaction invented by the chemist, but this is the first highly anisotrophic organocatalytic transformation which was reported in 1970. So here, for an example, when 2-methyl-2,3-oxobutyl cyclopentane 1,3-dione, this one was reacted with S-proline as the catalyst, the substrate undergoes intramolecular aldol reaction to give us an optically active or stereospecific product of this type. So here what happens is this part of the carbonyl group, this undergoes uh, transformation into a carbanion through the catalyst, and then the cyclization of this product takes place to give us this type of indene derivatives, and these indene derivatives, they can undergo dehydration to give us alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound. Similarly, if we are having aldehydes and ketones at a different level, then S-proline can also catalytically convert these through intermolecular asymmetric aldol condensation to stereoselective products. Now, the mechanism of proline catalyzed aldol condensation, there are very few mechanisms which have been given by different scientists, but the universally accepted mechanism is this one, where in the first step, the carbonyl compound, which is acting as a donor molecule, will interact with the proline, and carboxylate group of proline will interact with the carbonyl group of the donor molecule, and we will get this type of transition state where a formation of a Schiff base of this type will be there, or Schiff base, or we can call it as enamine, is formed through interaction of the carboxyl group of proline and carbonyl group of the donor molecule. Then this gets converted into this type of enamine, and this enamine, through this refacial attack, is converted into this type of transition state where the energy of the system is lowest, and then through uh, formation of this transition state, this is converted into a stereospecific product of this type. So stereospecific aldol products, they are formed and proline is generated back. Then after the use of proline, there were some other derivatives of proline and Other heterocyclic compounds, they were used as chiral organic molecules for transformation of asymmetric aldol condensation products. The most commonly used proline derivatives, they are formed from condensation of proline with thiourea, thiazolidine, then some naturally occurring alkaloids, then peptides or carbohydrates. So the derivatives of prolines of these types of compounds, they lead to the formation of organocatalysts which can be used for these asymmetric reactions. So some of the commonly used derivatives of prolines, they are these pyrrolidine tetrazoles, then these alkaloid based organocatalysts, and these thiourea based catalysts which are bound to a polymer. So we can say that polymer based thiourea proline derivatives, they can also act as organocatalysts for such type of asymmetric transformations. So these are some of the examples of derivatives of proline which are used for asymmetric aldol condensation. Cyclohexanone reacts with para-nitrobenzaldehyde to give us this type of product where the syn to anti ratio of the product formed is 30 to 34 to 66. So we are getting a anisotrophic product formation through these polymer based organocatalysts in asymmetric aldol condensation. Then the same polymeric based thiourea proline derivative also reacts with nitrosobenzene to give us these types of anisotrophic products, and anisomeric excess of these products formed is more than 98%. Then these types of thiazolidine based organocatalyst, they are also effective for asymmetric aldol condensation of aromatic aldehydes with say benzaldehyde with acetone, and we will get these types of asymmetric products, aldol products, and anisomeric excess of such products is 99% of uh, the product formed has 99% anisomeric excess. So we can get high purity products through application of these types of organocatalysts. Then another example is proline and this alkaloid in a single molecule was used for asymmetric aldol condensation. So this alkaloid plus proline, they acted as a organocatalyst, and the anisomeric excess of the product formed was 92% in this case. So the product is formed with high degree of anisotrophy. Then after the use of these natural or semi-natural derivatives, the use of chiral auxiliaries was also there, and it was found that these chiral auxiliaries, they also acted in an effective manner for the asymmetric aldol condensation. And the most common among these chiral auxiliaries is 2-oxazolidinones as the catalyst. So this reaction where these are used as chiral auxiliaries is the Evans aldol condensation. So Evans aldol condensation is the condensation of an aldehyde with chiral acyl oxazolide known as the reactant. So here what happens is that this chiral auxiliary acyl oxazolidinone D dinone reacts with boron based molecule to give us first this type of transition state, and then this enolic transition state, this is a cis boron enolate is formed, which leads to complete selectivity for one of the two possible syn aldol products. So that is why we are getting only this syn product. So because even if syn addition takes place, then also there is a possibility of formation of two type of product. Here both OH and methyl group, they are in beta orientation, and second syn orientation is when both of these they are having alpha orientation. But this enolate, which is boron enolate, which is formed, this it has such an orientation that only this syn product is formed. So so much is the selectivity of this reaction, that syn boron enolate leads to a complete selectivity for one of the two possible syn aldol products. So that is why this is an example of asymmetric aldol condensation. The stereoselectivity is rationalized based on this six-membered Zimmermann-Trexler transition state. This transition state is called as Zimmermann-Trexler transition state, and this is a six-membered transition state. And here this phenyl group is equatorial and this methyl group is axial in its orientation. The next is another example that the chiral auxiliary in presence of some metal ions. So when this chiral Evans chiral auxiliary is used in presence of magnesium chloride, then the product formed is an anti-product, and this leads to the formation of anti-selective asymmetric reaction. And you have seen in the last example that when we have used chiral auxiliary in the absence of the metal, the product formed was a syn product. So by use of this metal ion in addition to chiral auxiliary, this has led to the formation of anti-product, and ratio of the product formed in anti to syn is 32 is to 1. So that means if 1% of the product formed is a syn product, then 32% of the product formed will be an anti-product. So we can say that stereoselectively anti-product is formed when we use metal salts in addition to the chiral auxiliaries. Then chiral boron reagents, they also they have been found effective for asymmetric aldol condensation. So here what happens is that chiral ligand attached to metal atom of the enolate species that is used. So this is the chiral ligand. This is the chiral catalyst which is used, and we are using this type of uh, ketones which are having thio group on the adjacent site of these. And these chiral boron reagents, they have been found to give a good enantioselectivity for use as esters or ketone substrates for this asymmetric aldol condensation. So, for example, when this C2 symmetric dialkyl boron reagent, this dialkyl boron reagent, this was used with this type of thioester, the anti-product with an isomeric excess of 99% was formed. So the product formed was an anti-aldol product with high optical purity. So this shows that boron reagents, they are also very effective for such type of reactions. Then Corey has also given a reagent which is called as Corey's C2 symmetric boron reagent. This reagent uh, of boron derivative is called as Corey's C2 symmetric boron reagent. When this is reacted with different type of substrates, say phenyl thioesters or tertiary butyl propionate esters, then high degree of stereoselectivity was observed in different types of reactions. So you can see when phenyl thioesters were the substrate, the product formed was a syn product, and anisomeric excess of the product formed is 97%. But if I replace this phenyl group by tertiary butyl group, then the products formed, they are anti-products, and anisomeric excess is 94%. So as I have already told you that formation of syn or anti-products, whether syn products or anti-products, this depends on the type of enolate which is formed with this reagent in the first step. And if the reaction is kinetically controlled, then first step is irreversible. If it is thermodynamically controlled, the first step is in equilibrium with the reactant. So based on that, we will get either syn products or anti products. Then is Mukaima aldol reaction. So there is a disadvantage with boron chiral reagent. That is, with boron chiral reagent, we need stoichiometric amounts of chiral ligand, and chiral ligands, they are very costly in nature. So if we are to use in stoichiometric amounts, that means the reaction is not an economical reaction in comparison to if we are to use it in a catalytic amount. So that is why the Mukama aldol condensation was used, because here stoichiometric amounts of chiral ligand was effective for these types of reactions. So here the ligand was used in combination with silyl enol ethers and this triplet. Tin 2 triplet with chiral diamine ligand. This diamine ligand was used selectively for production of a syn aldol product, and anisomeric excess of the product formed was 99%. But here the substrates, they are more active than carbonyl compounds. This is a donor molecule, this is an acceptor carbonyl compound. So donor molecule is more reactive because the enol silyl enol ether has already been formed, which is generally the first step in the formation of enol or enolates from the carbonyl compound. So this is a very reactive substrate. So that is why we are getting a syn aldol product with 99% enantiomeric access. Then another example is in addition to the ligand, metal ligands, they can also be used in addition to chiral auxiliary by Mukema aldol reaction. So here a number of titanium based Lewis acids with binapthyl ligands. These are binapthyl ligands. They have been used with titanium compounds as catalyst for conversion of uh, silyl enol ethers to enantiomeric products. So here only 2 mole percent of the catalyst is required for this reaction to give us high enantioselectively formed products. And enantioselectivity of the reactions depending upon the type of substituent R varies from 94 to 97%. So this is all about asymmetric aldol condensation. These are some of the references which have been used for preparing this lecture, in addition to some other resources from some books and some other material from internet. So all are acknowledged for this lecture. All the authors who have contributed in this subject, they are acknowledged for this lecture. So thank you once again. I thank my teacher, Professor Baldev Kumar, and I would recite a little poem for the sake of my dedication to my teacher. I searched for my God I could not see. I looked for my soul eluded me. I sought out my teacher and in him found all the three. Thank you very much, Professor Baldev Kumar, for whatsoever I have been achieved this day is because of you, and I will remember you for whole of my life. Thank you very much.